Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM20 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's Season 5, Episode 3, and today we're back to face league leaders Sheffield Wednesday. We may also face second place Peterborough too. We come into this game against the top two sides in the worst form of the season so far, so it's going to be a bit of a tough test for us. We've slipped out of the playoffs, we're gradually going back down towards mid-table, and we've got to keep on course for our top half finish, which means we need to get back to form pretty soon. After those two games, we've got 4th place Walsall away from home, then we play mid-table Shrewsbury in the FA Cup and Newcastle in the Leasing.com trophy, so it could be a really disastrous month for us. We really need to get back on track at some point. The positive, of course, as you can see, is that we've started to get some goals from our two main strikers, Longman and Omatui, both on 6 apiece now, and we've also got Rory Watson, our first choice keeper, back to fitness. He's missed the last couple of games, and a few others that have been away on international duty. They came back against Doncaster on Saturday. But that's not going to make this test any easier. Both of these teams are unbeaten this season, the only two in the league that are actually, and Sheffield Wednesday only dropped 2 points in 14 games. They've probably already wrapped up the title, and we're going to have to do really well to get a result against them. But it's a big trip to Hillsborough, the sort of game we couldn't have dreamt of 3 or 4 years ago. So for us to be up there now is absolutely incredible, and we're trying to compete to get back in that playoff hunt, and at least make sure we're comfortable in the top half. But before we go and look at the recent results, a massive thank you to everyone who continues to follow the series. I really do greatly appreciate it. If you're enjoying it, please do put a thumbs up on the video. It really does make such a difference. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe for daily FM20 content from both of my long-term stories. If you missed any of the playlists so far, you can catch up in the eye above all of our playlists to all of our FM20 stories and our matchday vlogs from our podcast as well. A massive thank you for your support with those. But let's go and have a look at the recent results. Since you were with me last time for the Ipswich and Lincoln games, and it all continued pretty well till the end of September. It was a 0-0 draw away at Gillingham, a solid result on the road, a 3-1 win away at Accrington, a Longman brace and Omatui racking it up before half-time, and then a 3-0 win at home to Colchester, the same combination getting the first 3 goals, but then at the start of this month it's all gone disastrously wrong. We haven't won a game in any competition. So a 2-1 defeat at Rotherham, Omatui got a penalty late on, but unfortunately it wasn't more than a consolation. Then at home to Chesterfield we led till the 82nd minute, our backup side in the Leasing.com trophy, and Eddie Flanagan the youngster got a goal again, but it didn't last long as we were beaten towards the end of the match. A 2-1 defeat that finished, and then the same scoreline at home to Coventry in the league. Tom Neal with an equaliser, but we didn't hold on long enough, and unfortunately we dropped 3 points again. But at home to Doncaster we did get an unbeaten run started again, albeit for a boring 0-0 draw. We're not looking a threat going forward again. The strikers are starting to struggle in front of goal, and I'm really hoping they can get back to form today, or it could be a very long next month or so. We've got a really tough run of games. Salford are right up there, as are Wigan as well, so until December we haven't really got an easier game on paper, and that's going to make things very difficult for us, but we've got to push through that in one of these big games and hopefully just nick a smash and grab on the road. Our counter-attacking mentality should suit it. So if we have a look at the game, I'm guessing we'll be massive underdogs for this one. Sheffield Wednesday 3-1 on to win it. 4 wins and a draw in their last 5 games. We've only won 1 and drawn 1. And Sheffield Wednesday have got a decent head-to-head record against us. 50-50 with John Sheridan in charge. And we're back to our full strength 11 today. Just Omatui in for Colclough, who's not quite back to fitness yet. So we've got Watson in goal. He's back after a couple of games out. Matheson and Jaden Brown are the fullbacks. I'm tempted to push them forward a bit, you know. Early in games we've been getting beaten, so I'm going to put them up to support duties. That may well backfire in this one. We've got McGahey and Burgess at centre-half, Tom Neal in the holding role, Lindsay and Bayliss joining in central midfield, and then Wilson and Omatui playing on the wings, with Longman on his own as the pressing forward up front. The likes of Colclough and Olamola back to fitness. It does give us game changers off the bench for once. We're still a little bit weak in certain areas, and we'll be hoping that doesn't cost us in today's game. But there's only one way to find out. Let's get into it and see if we can get a result. I'm not pinning my hopes too high for this one, and depending on how much match action there is, we may well show the Peterborough one too. Well, 4-4-2 and some big names in the Sheffield Wednesday side. They've still got Adam Reach in the middle, Joe Wildsmith the keeper. Is that Charlie Taylor, the old Burnley one? It is. A really good player at League 1 level. Longo's a good player, as is the author at right back. There's some really good players, the likes of Forshaw and Newell on the bench. So let's not just get ourselves down looking at that lineup. Ask the lads to prove a point and see if we can do something special. 4 minutes on the clock. We've had the first shot of the game, but it wasn't worthy of a highlight, and now Sheffield Wednesday are on the front foot already. Here's Adam Reach. We know he can score some goals from distance. I think he had his own goal of the season competition in real life last year. Scored 2 or 3 absolute screamers. All of them were contenders, and here they come on the overlap with the author. Into the back post. Matheson heads down. Penny shot blocked once and then twice by his own man. Penny back to Taylor. It's in again. At the back post, the author's unmarked. It's a great volley, but Watson tips it wide, and we got a corner kick that we're going to have to defend now. Penny delivers to the back post, Stewart heads down, great save, Watson. Unbelievable reflexes, he's come back on fire. Maybe he needed that 2-game break as Penny puts it in again. Omatoy finally heads one away, but it's only out to the wing. Sheffield Wednesday can cut it back. Mitchell had a chance to deliver. Neil does really well to get the challenge in, and eventually we hack it clear for a throw. Free kick on the right hand side, Penny to deliver an in-swinger with his left. Dobbin heads just over, Watson was scrambling for it. 12 minutes gone, Sheffield Wednesday are dominant here, but they're not able to get the lead just yet. And we're hanging on for dear life, but it's still 0-0, and that'll be a fabulous result against a team that have only dropped 2 points all year. Another corner for the home side. The set pieces are dominant and Borna heads one just wide there. He's got the German, so it might be Burner actually. But a fantastic header just wide of the post. Keeper had absolutely no chance. But the set piece taker's just picked up a knock now as we've got one at the other end and we've nicked a goal from it. Talk about smash and grab. Brilliant ball in from Neil. McGahey knocked it down. Bayliss taps in for his first goal at the club. Brilliant stuff from the central midfielder. Got into the box and tapped in. And he was right there with a poacher's instinct as Matheson gives the ball away from a throw. Long ball forward towards Dobbin. He skinned the centre half. He has made McGahey look silly there. Dobbin in one-on-one. Great save, Watson again. How many more is he going to make in this game? Stewart crosses in. Dobbin heads down. Matheson gets it away. We're clinging on for dear life yet again, but at least we've got something to hold on to. Here's Luongo back to reach. Trying to get it wide again. He's got a man out there in Mitchell. The fullbacks might be on support duties now, but they're still not getting out their own box as McGahey heads away another cross and Wilson hacks it long downfield. I tell you what, Longman looked like he was going to get there for a second, and he might steal from Wildsmith. A poor first touch and he has to hack it into the stand. Really poor composure from the keeper, and Matheson throws it into Tom Neal. Let's see if we can nick a second undeserved goal. Here's Lindsay out to Matheson, getting further forward with that new duty, cuts it back to Lindsay. There's not really an avenue to get the cross in there, and eventually we work it back to Neal. Good through ball out to Tyree Wilson, chance to deliver from the byline. It's back to the edge. Omatoy brings it down 25 yards out. He finds Jaden Brown, who's got a chance to cross in towards Wilson unmarked. What a save, Wildsmith. We're coming back into it on the break. An unbelievable save by their keeper too. That's one apiece for the goalkeepers. And Tom Neal will deliver the corner now. Let's see if we can nick a second from a set piece. Neal into the front post, headed away by Iorfa. Out to Bayliss, the goal scorer on the left. He's lost out in a challenge and does well to win it back, and eventually does well to get a free kick too. Really good hold-up play from the central midfielder. He's had a brilliant first half so far. Penny on the left though. Sheffield Wednesday straight forward. End-to-end football match, and Stewart puts a good chance over. 3 clear-cut chances now for Sheffield Wednesday, including that one, but we still lead 1-0 with 5 to the break. Well, we're back with a free kick on the right. Penny delivers. Dobbin down to Thornley. Dobbin gets it in at the second attempt. Instincts got him there and Burgess didn't react. 1-0, you can't say they didn't deserve it. They've been dominant throughout. They deserve to be ahead, but as it is, they're back level before the break. Half time then, we've largely been outclassed by Sheffield Wednesday. They've had so many set pieces against us. How they've had so many free kicks when we've got stay on the feet as an instruction, I'm not quite sure. We're going to tell the lads we're pleased, ask them to keep it up. We have had a big threat on the break, and the fullbacks have done a little better in those supporting duties, so I'm hoping that'll bode well in the second half. Tom Neal with a ball in. Burgess heads in. We nick on the break again. Omatoy's picked up a knock. I don't know if that was from the challenge. We're going to take him off and replace him with Cole Clough, but we've nicked the lead again 5 minutes into the second half. Exactly what we needed from Cameron Burgess. A brilliant header into the top corner, and that makes up for his lack of reaction for the equaliser. Well, 15 to go. It's time for some changes, I think. Lewis Butroyd's going to come on for Jaden Brown. He's looking nervous. We are going to put them back to defensive duties now, the fullbacks. Just try and hang on for the lead. And then Olamola's going to come on for Longman up front. He's not had the best game. Starting to come into a little goal drought again. But we've got our backup striker on the bench again now. And we tend to go, we'll just try and hold on for the win. And in 5 more, we'll go and start time wasting. It's Sheffield Wednesday with a throw at left back. Charlie Taylor to Null, the substitute. Wilson's nicked it high up the pitch off him. Finds Lindsay, the box-to-box man. He's made the run again, the winger. Lindsay can't find him yet, though. But he's into the box, he's beaten his man. Good effort at goal, but it was a little bit tame. And Wildsmith's able to hold it at the first attempt. Unfortunately, no rebound for a striker. 3 minutes to go. I was about to make the time-wasting change, but you all know my superstition when it comes to tactics. We don't do it mid-highlight, and we've just come back for one. McGahey takes it short to Matheson, but again we're in possession on the front foot as Wilson's trying to start a counter. Down the right-hand side, finds Olamola, beats the man, brilliant touch, and he slides it in. That's incredible. What a game to win. Sheffield Wednesday dropped 2 points all year in 14 games, a bit like Liverpool in the Premier League in real life, and we've come along and just smashed 3 points off them. We've not deserved it, but on the break we've been a constant threat, and Olamola off the bench opens his account for the season. Brilliant for him back from injury to get that, and we're going to go and time waste all the time as you've seen, and as we go into stoppage time there's 4 minutes remaining, and it looks like we're about to complete a famous victory. Back into the playoffs as well, we couldn't ask for much more, albeit with other teams having games in hand, but an unbelievable performance on the road, the counter-attacking tactic working down to a T. We've just got to sort out the home form against sides lower in the division, but otherwise that is a fantastic day at the office. Great ratings across the board, an unbelievable save from Watson in the first half. Wilson man of the match, 2 assists for him. We got another striker off his goal duck, which is good news. Omatoy's knocks the only slight concern from today's game. So let's just go and look as we move back into 5th place. And actually it's only Fleetwood and Rotherham with games in hand. The rest of them bar Oxford can't really catch us, so we're actually in a pretty decent position. And Peterborough managed to get a point again today. They didn't win away at Salford, but it was 2nd v 3rd. And they played an hour against 9 men, but still weren't able to get a result. Although it will mean they've probably got fresh legs for the weekend. Let's look at the inbox then. We move into promotion contention. We'll go and praise Terry Wilson, 2 assists, brilliant performances. In front of goal, made the right decisions, which was great. Omatoy's out 10 to 12 days. I think that rules him out of this one and next week's FA Cup tie. In fact, it's the League One clash again next week, and he'll be back for the FA Cup in 2 weeks. But Olamola's back in form, Coleclough's back in match action, so it's not too much of a disaster for a 2-week knock. And as long as we don't get any big ones, I'll be pretty confident. There's only a few positions where we can't really afford to lose people. So by my accounts, despite the match action, we're only actually about 12 minutes in, so we'll go and skip ahead to the Peterborough match, and we'll be back on Saturday to play that one too, although I have got Burgess out with a yellow card ban now. 5 yellows already, and Bordeaux will be back in, and that's where we've looked weakest in the last few games. When Watson and Burgess were out, we looked all at sea, and that's a bit of a concern for us going into the weekend. Time for game 2, and we've got more fitness tests, I'm afraid. Watson's just on his return from injury, so there's no problem with that one. Taylor Maloney's going to be back though. He's got a bruised thigh, out for 1 to 6 games, so no chance of him being on the bench again. And although he was brought in as a backup anchor man, we're not too worried if he's out. It's a bit frustrating that he's injured so often. It's a little bit of a concern for us if Neil gets injured. So Oscar Garcia in charge of Peterborough, who are flying up in 2nd in the league. 4 to 5 on favourites. They've won 3 of their last 5 and remain unbeaten. But we're of course back in form with those 3 points at Wednesday. We'll be hoping we can get a big shock again today. Hopefully the counter-attacking tactic will suit this game against a big side, even though they're of course a team that are going to be on the breakaway. But I think they're going to try and control the game still, so hopefully we'll be able to catch them out. We've got 2 enforced changes because Burgess is suspended, Omatoy's picked up an injury, so Bordeaux's got to come in at centre-half. Terrell Thomas will come onto the bench in his place, so let's just bring Thomas in there, and then we'll switch him with Bordeaux. So Bordeaux's in the starting lineup, and then Omatoy on the left replaced by Ryan Coleclough, and then I think we'll bring on the youngster Flanagan to the bench. He's a natural attacking player, and we'll back up to Olamola just to give us a little bit more threat on the break. And then Taylor Maloney's got a knock as well. We'll take him off the bench for now, and we've got a choice between Schoberg and the young Andy Cook, so we'll try and get one of our homegrown youngsters on. So potentially 2 of them coming off the bench, both of them developing nicely, and we will look at that a bit more later in the year. But we're really enjoying managing Scunthorpe at the moment, and we've just got to try and get the best out of this squad. Everyone else is fit and doing well, so no other changes at all there. Just Coleclough in for the injured Omatoy, and Bordeaux in for the suspended Burgess. But with those 2 made and the other 2 youngsters coming onto the bench, let's pop into the second game against Peterborough and see if we can cause our second shock in succession. Beating both of the top 2 would certainly be an achievement. Well, 4-3-3 for Peterborough. They look like they're set up a bit more for a counter-attacking style. They've got Mackay and Cole on the wings, Taylor Blackett at left back, Tyler Blackett, the old United player, Andre Wisdom at centre-half, currently at Derby in real life, Nathan Thompson, Callum Cook and Brad Potts in central midfield. There's some cracking players in his side. Is that Kane Wilson on the bench? It is. Is that Ravel Morrison? Hang on a minute. Ravel Morrison maybe? It is. Ravel Morrison on the bench for Peterborough. What a wasted talent. He's obviously on the Middlesbrough in real life. Hopefully he'll show some of his talents. It'd be brilliant for football fans, but it looks like he's wasted his opportunities. He's down in League One in this game, in this career. But we want to tell the lads to pick up where they left off. They can't do much better than winning away at the leaders. They've inflicted their first defeat of the season, and can they now do the same against Peterborough? Well, I tell you what, we've had more of the chances early on, but Peterborough have a corner, and they've scored from their first shot on target. Brad Potts heads in, he's so poor at the back. Bayliss loses a header, he missed his interception. We've got the set-piece tactics. I've spent so long working on them, making sure that all of the best headers are marking, all of the other ones are in the right zones, and it just isn't working in this series. We continue to have lapses in concentration, and again, one from Tom Bayliss there. His concentration stat's actually 10, so he shouldn't be making quite as many as he does, though he is on the ball here as we're back back on the attack. Out to Jaden Brown on the left. We're not going to get downhearted as Brown gets to the byline and crosses. Longman off the line. What an unbelievable save from Jonathan Bond. How did that not go in? And now we've got to worry even more because Devante Cole's on the break. Tom Neal gets across the anchor man to intercept, but I cannot believe we didn't equalise there. With an unbelievable chance and an even better save. Bryant on the right wing for Peterborough though. Into the back post. Mackay heads down. Falls for Blackett on the volley. You can't do anything about that. Yes, you might have closed him down a bit closer, but as the commentary says, you just don't save those. A brilliant volley from outside the box. A left back who probably never scores. I'm imagining his long shot stats probably about 2 or 3. In fact, to be fair to him, it's 10. It's not quite as bad. He's got 1 goal in 129 league games for Peterborough, and he's just made it 2 with that unbelievable volley. And in an even game, we find ourselves 2-0 down. Well, throw in the right back area, Matheson's the man to take it. He finds Longman who's up in support. He's going down the right wing, he's lost out to Potts, the first scorer. Wisdom playing it out, look how slick they are in possession. Peterborough doing really well, though they do give it away there. And Bayliss picks it up in the centre circle. Out to Colclough, the makeshift left winger. Cutting inside, he's got 2 running off him. Goes for glory himself, though it's a really poor effort. It flies over the bar from 25 yards. It looks like we're going to trail 2-0 at the break. Jacob Badeau struggling the makeshift centre half. And at half time, it is 2-0 to Peterborough, though it has been a pretty even game in terms of stats. So we're going to tell the lads we're disappointed. They've not been good in this game, though. Matheson's won all his tackles again, but still only a rating of 6.5. I don't really understand that. Fullback seems to be a bit of a problem in this year's game. We're going to take Bayliss off because he's been poor. Teddy Bishop a like-for-like replacement. Colclough struggled on his return as well, so Olamola on the left. We already know the damage he can do. And we'll get back into the start of the second half, going for its attacking mentality, and just see if we can nick an early goal to shake them. Otherwise, we're going to lose the 3 points here. Free kick on the right. Teddy Bishop, the sub to deliver. Longman at the back post. It's an unbelievable save again. Lindsay puts in the rebound, but Olamola was offside, knocking it back. We didn't get the one back we needed, but Jonathan Bond has made 2 unbelievable saves from Ryan Longman. Right out the top draw, world-class goalkeeping. With an hour gone, Tom Neal's picked up a booking as well. Lindsay's having a poor game, so he'll be the 3rd sub. And we're going to bring on Adam King, just try and get him some experience. Hopefully get a way back into this game. Well, Peterborough free kick, 20 to go. Mackay takes it short to Coppin, fools everyone who made the run into the box. Mackay beats a man. It's a good challenge though. Held up by Tom Neal. Falls for Andre Wisdom who's making his way back, and Coppin keeps possession in the middle. Good ball out to the left to Mackay. He's had a brilliant game out there. Beats the fullback again. Chance to deliver. Potts at the back stick, heads in. Jaden Brown really weak in the air. And unfortunately Peterborough lead 3-0. We'll go back to cautious just so we don't get embarrassed. But unfortunately the 2 good days in a row weren't coming. Inconsistencies looks like it's going to be our biggest problem this year. With 1 defeat we dropped down to 10th. That's how tight the league table is now. Still only 2 points off 6th though. But with 5 to go it looks like it's going to be a comprehensive defeat. And the opposite of the euphoria from the Wednesday game. There's the confirmation then. Defeat it is. We're disappointed with the performance. We've got a bit of motivation out the lads. In truth it was fairly even. Blackett scored a screamer. 2 individual mistakes from set pieces. It was Jaden Brown at left back struggling to deal with Brad Potts. A missed header from Bayliss for the first goal. But we're still in 9th place and competing in the top half. We can't ask for much more than that at this stage of the season. And Sheffield Wednesday really troubled by our defeat last time out. They've then been held at home yet again today. So let's quickly look at what the media said about the game. I'm sure they'll say that our promotion bid took a hit. They do. Peterborough deserving winners. Delight from Blackett after a brilliant goal. He was singled out and he should be after that volley. Right out the top draw. I'm sure it'll win goal of the month next week. But let's have a look at when we might next be back. Hopefully when we've got a slightly easier run. So looking at the teams in and around us, I feel like we need to get through this really hard spell. Try and come back maybe for the last 2 games of the calendar year. Rotherham and Doncaster in 5th and 7th place respectively. 2 of the games that will really tell us if we're going to be in the playoff picture this year. What we're going to have to do going into January. Of course Alan Judge has got a bit of budget to spend. And I'm hoping we'll still have an outside chance of a playoff place after those games. If we do, we know it could be an exciting season. If not, we might need to think about moving on while we're meeting expectations. But I am really enjoying this Scunthorpe side. And we've got 4 great youngsters at the club. And that's the thing that motivates most players a lot. When you're doing long-term series, you love to work with players who could develop into top-class prospects. And we've got 4 of those at one club here. So it'd be lovely if we could take them through the leagues. But of course, all it takes, even if we're not looking, is a better offer to come along. And that may not be far off the way we're performing at the moment. If we get into those playoff places consistently, we could well have clubs sniffing around us. And we'll wait and see how that affects us in the next couple of months. But for now, we're loving our time at Scunthorpe. But if you did enjoy this episode, please do put a thumbs up on the video. It really does make a difference and I do greatly appreciate it. Let me know in the comments what you think we can do tactically, where it's best for me to have those fullbacks. I want to get the best out of them on supporting duties, but I know realistically for our tactic we need them on defending. So I'm not quite sure what the best is to go for. I'm just really keen to get the best out of Matheson. We're a little inconsistent, but we're still a decent side, and I'd expect us to be in the top half come the end of the year. We just need to make sure this bad run doesn't start again. It's 4 defeats in 6, and there's no way of glossing that up. With a couple of cup games coming up, that could extend further, and we'll need to get back to form in the league soon after. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM20 content from my 2 long-term stories. Dorking Wanderers will be back tomorrow, the One Club series. We got our end of season 6 review in that one, and then on Friday we'll have a transfer special from that series too, before our first game of the season on Sunday. So an action-packed week in that series. This one will be back on Thursday with those 2 big games before the January transfer window, and then we'll finish the week on Saturday with Alan Judge at his best, hopefully providing a bit of magic for us. But overall, a really good start to the season, and thank you again for joining me for this double header. I hope you enjoyed us seeing us beat the leaders and inflict their first defeat of the season, and I hope to see you next time for the Rotherham and Doncaster games as we try and stay in the playoff hunt in League One.